Hello, hello. How is everybody? Jay, can you are you there? Are you able to how's everybody doing today? All righty, what a day. Somewhat interesting as far as the candles are barely moving. We haven't, it's just been kind of a slow, choppy grind. And, I'm on a 1 minute just to show you how, we're barely moving. In any event, I was able to actually find somebody was wanting a volume bar indicator, but that it also had an alarm that was attached to it. So we took a basic one that we could find online, and then created basically some additional programming just to give it basically an alarm to go off when the volume actually reaches over that average. And then, of course, you could see by the different colors if that's more buyers and sellers. And so that was kind of interesting. We're going to be posting that as I'm trying to get used to it, actually. It's been kind of a terrible day to use indicators whenever you have a choppy mess. Like nothing ever works really good anyway. But if you were able just to kind of get into a position and then close your eyes, kind of a deal, and walk away, you would have had to have a wide, stop on it just because of all the movement, especially if you had short dated contracts. Where is that? I'm going to try to get rid of it really quick just to give myself some more room. Hopefully that will go. So on a 1 minute chart, we can kind of see the SPY and what it's doing. I think we're all kind of really waiting for a big move this afternoon because we really didn't get, as an example, we filled this gap. And then as soon as we filled that gap, it actually looked like it was going to be a gap and go today. Yesterday, we filled the gap down. We ended up going farther down to that pivot low here at 136.17, as it's clearly identified here with our trend support lines. And then now we're back up. I mean, if this is not like beautifully marked, we have our pivot low here on a 5 minute chart if you were intraday trading, right? So you'd have to basically put your call in and or your spread in for a day like this. Hopefully not a short dated call, because you still end up losing premium on a short dated call. But anyway, if you put in your trade and then just kind of closed your eyes, this was the rest of the day. And so now we're here about $3 above, and we've just hit that resistance level. So this has been happening quite a bit. Either we end the day at the lower resistance level, or we're hitting the end of the day at the higher resistance level. And so we're kind of in that same boat. But I think we got up here relatively slow and choppy. And I think people were just waiting for more of an aggressive move. If any of you actually use the wave, then you can just tell by the color change on the 5-minute. All the different color changes really just mean it's a sloppy mess, right? And then we finally got some decent price action here. And unfortunately, if you were a robot or an algorithm, or you hired someone to program a trading bot, right? You would have had to go through, if you had it set on a 5-minute chart, you would have had to go through all these trades, even as a human being, to finally get to this trade, which was finally a decent trade. And I think most of us were just waiting for a decent trade much earlier in the day. But at some point, you know, you just have to mind your stop losses. So if you typically get into a trade early in the day, you put yourself in for, as an example, a 20-cent stop on something, and it gets hit. And then you do it again and it gets hit. Like, this should already be kind of a warning sign for you that, hey, it's going to be a choppy day. And you're going to be like death by 1,000, you know, paper cuts, so to speak. And that's what the $20 each contract means. However, here, if you were able to withstand it all. So when we go to a choppy day, we can go to actually a larger time frame and take a look and see how we would have fared with a longer time frame. Now, with the caveat of a longer time frame means that you're going to have a bigger candle. And let's take a look here. I just want to make sure. Yeah. Oh, Jay says he can't hear me. Hey guys, can you type in the channel? Let me know if you can hear me. Yikes. I did not know that you guys cannot hear me. Let's take a look at that really quick. Oh, okay. You can hear me. Okay. Okay. Everyone can hear me. Jay, excellent. Sorry about that, guys. Jay said he couldn't, he typed me, he couldn't hear me. So I stopped just to check, but you guys can hear me and I can see your typing. So thank you so much. While I'm typing, because we're just kind of, again, still chopping, I think we're just waiting for something to happen, right? With bated breath. If you could type me a question, I'll pop back into this when I take a breath. And you guys know when Jay's not here he's my handler, then of course I'll just keep talking. You know how I get. So let me get back to that, because that was actually really good about when we looked at that 5-minute candle, right? And most of us intraday trade, right, on a 5-minute. So I kind of wanted to bring that thought home. Jay said he can't. Try restarting. Anyway, we miss you, Jay. Come on back. So now let me just go back to my screen. Let me just take a quick look here. So now, so what I was saying was, okay, so we were on a 5-minute chart. This is actually really good training right here, guys. We're on a 5-minute chart, and like you and me, the day starts and it's just a mess, right? This is a hot mess right here. You can see this. And we're living through it with our stops, right? Stop, stop, stop. And you could see, guys, if you have the wave, you could just, as soon as you start seeing, right, the colors changing from red to green, red to green, red to green, this is not a good time to trade. And then all of a sudden, right, we finally at around, I think this is my time, so around 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, we actually enter a decent trade, and you can see it on the wave. Enter a nice, decent wave. You would have had to basically close your eyes and let that go. Now, this is on a 5-minute. Now, let's go to a 15-minute now, and let's see how we would have fared. And what would have been the difference with 15 minutes? This is great. Well, the first thing you have to recognize is that if you're trading on a 15-minute candle, then you have to be able to withstand a stop loss of a 15-minute candle. So most of us can do that on a 5-minute candle. So we open up on the 15, and let's just say, as an example, we're going to do the opening range breakout just to make it easy. So the first 15 minutes, we're going to make our line, and we're going to say, okay, as soon as it breaks, we're going to take the trade. And look at this, guys, even on a 15-minute candle, if you're playing a 15-minute. Now, what a lot of people do is they mark the 15-minute candle, and then they go to a 5-minute candle. It's not a bad idea. And let's see how that would have played out. Now, look at how this looks on a 5-minute versus a 15-minute. I drew the lines on a 15-minute candle, and now you get to see what your stop loss might be looking like for a 15-minute candle. Could you handle that on your short dated call or put? And so that's what you need to take into consideration. So you would have got faked out here, and you would have got a buck here. That's not too bad. Then you would have been basically in a hot mess throughout. And then we just finally broke here, which again is at, is that 10, 11, 12, 135, I guess. Yeah, no. Yeah, 135. We broke out of that 15-minute range. So, you know, if you're ever trying to identify when to keep your money, this would be a great example of it. Because if you would have took a short here, by example, you know, hopefully you're not going to wait until your price gets all the way down here. I mean, that's $2, right? So what you always want to do, and the easiest way to do that, is just look at your previous candle. So, you know, when we talk about a bigger picture and say, you know, a trend is a higher high, think about that for a moment as we think about that, a higher high and a higher low. See, we're going up and we're going up. So what you can take into consideration when you're trading, and you're wondering about, you know, is this a good capital day to trade? So when you take a trade, just know that your stop is going to be at that candle, the previous candle's low. So you can hover over here, and right here, it'll tell you the open, close, and low. So if we hover, take a look at that black bar, not that thing, but the black bar up there, and it says the low is 388.90. So if you got into a trade as an example on this candle, then you know that your stop is going to be this candle's low, 388.90. Why? Well, because that would mean then, and as it did right here is a great example, is that you're not going to be making a higher high. You're actually going to go lower, and you'd have to stay here until what? Gosh, you know, if you were on a short dated call, this would have been a choppy mess, especially if it was a 0 DTE, you would have lost money on this until finally it came up here, hopefully possibly breaking even up here. Let's see. We recently were on a meta. We were on a meta a couple days ago. Wow, look at this consolidation. It broke out. We were actually in a put play on meta. And you would have gained, I guess, you know, we got out around 50% loss on this, but you could see that, you know, it actually right here would have probably have gotten back to the 50. This was probably 70% loss, got back to the 50, or excuse me, 50% loss, got back to probably 60, 65. And then now we're probably at a 70 or 80 if you just kept on it. Who knows what tomorrow brings, but, you know, on my verticals, I really like to, you know, cut it at a 50% loss. And then also, by the way, on the flip side of that on a vertical, is to cut it on a 50% gain. Now, what did we have today? Oh, what was I going to tell you? You know, we were in a position a couple days ago on Meta, And I often would say to you, when we're in a position and it doesn't work for us, get your tennis shoes on and jump on the opposite side of the tracks. You need to be able to flip over. So today what I did, because we did lose some money, but I didn't post this, is I just got into a meta call. And it was one of those things where I just closed my eyes, was like, oh gosh, it's going to be I don't even want to day trade it. I just kind of want to put it on and then I'll close it at the end of the day. And so we're up 16%. And so I basically made the amount of money that I lost, it's up 18 now. The amount of money that I lost in that vertical spread now, basically is being made back up. So that, by the way, is just an example of, hey, look, narrow your field, right? I know you can do a really cool Wazoo scan on TOS and get yourself a list of 150 stocks. But really, that's just going to muddy up your thought process. If we've been trading a handful of stocks within the last couple weeks, you can still use that and use the information that we've used, right? We made 60% on DDOG, again. Jay, by the way, I got your text, and yes, you do have talk mode available to you. So I really don't know what is up with that. I'll check it one more time. I do miss you, by the way. Where in the world are you? Okay, let's see if he has his controls. Let me just take a look. Yes, Jay, you have all the controls. So I would just say restart, and then we'll have to do a analyst test later. Are these Heikin-Ashi candles? Let's take a look at that really quick. Yes, I do believe that these are Heikin-Ashis. Yes, if you go, the wave actually has them programmed to be exactly the same color as this. If you're detail oriented, just go to your settings, and there is a setting for that. And it's basically, do you want your candles to represent the same color? And if you do, it'll be pretty like that. Let's see here. Color candles right here. Yes. A lot of customizations on the wave, guys, as well as the bullseye. Take some time to review those. By the way, I also made 3 brand new videos for the wave, the bullseye, and then our dynamic bullseye watch list. So if you haven't seen those, I felt like I did a little bit more detail on the customizations because I got lots of questions on them. So hopefully that will enlighten you to do some homework on that. Also, a new orientation for the education, membership, and combo in the starting point channel. Just trying to update since we have a lot of new services lately. So just trying to do that. Had some recent good swings. Maybe we can go through those charts and take a look at that really quick. And by the way, you guys know that I'm a conservative trader. And so even though we have a prop firm expert giving out day trades and futures and swing trades here in our Discord, you know that on our swing trades that we take, I am watching those like a hawk because that's my portfolio. So when you guys go to the alerts profits channel in the public section that has our trade tracker for everyone to see, I take that personally because that is my portfolio. And so even though I'm welcoming growing our team with expert traders, I still like to verify. And so, in doing so, I think that, just important to be able to know that if you're not conservative, maybe then you just want to follow profits trades. If you are conservative, then I am taking profits like a big dog, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but things change literally on a dime. And so when we are up, as an example, this morning we had a D-Dog trade. What was that? That was a 60 put and 60% profit. So let's take a look at that trade really quick. So we took a 60 put and we actually enjoyed that gap down. We take our trades about the last hour to half hour of the day, for those people that are working, etc., enough time to get on your mobile or your desktop to get that taken care of. And what are we looking for? Well, in this crazy market right now, we're really looking for a quick move the next day and to get out. Now, did our swings always be like this? No, we were actually doing monthly and weekly income trades. We were doing trades that were taking a week, to come to its, closing order. We're doing this now because the market is a bit crazy. We have the VIX, which surprisingly is hanging around the 20. It's still above the 20. And as far as I'm concerned, if we're up above the 20, then we got, there still can be some shenanigans and volatility. And that's what that really means, is a fear gauge on the VIX. And so you guys notice I always have this. By the way, if you're using the bullseye, then you can see that even on a 5-minute, by the way, I gotta, this is repetition. When we're using the bullseye, we have a trending indicator right here. And it says non-trending in gray. Now, if we get to a time chart that is trending, let's take a look at the 15. Remember, guys, on the 5-minute, we said we would have been chopped up, but on a 15, close your eyes and just write it, which is what I did with Meta today. And so you can see that on D-Dog for a 15-minute, it's trending. So that should help you recognize, right? Is this a day to use my capital, or shall I leave my track record, right, intact, my ROI, my return on investment? This is a business, right? We're not at Vegas. No cocktails, no show, no comped rooms, no nothing right here. So because of that, because this is a business, you need to use your indicators to identify if you should be using your money to invest or not. And if you cannot handle a 15-minute, right, an entire 15-minute handle to say, okay, my stop loss is here at this area. If you can't handle that stop loss and you can't handle that 15-minute and you drop down to a 5, okay, I'm just trying to make some sense here, and you see that it's non-trending, just know that you're going to just be chopped up to bits. Your stop loss is always going to be hit, is what that means. And you're going to be very sad about it. So keep your ROI intact, go outside and enjoy the day, get some exercise in or whatever, but don't trade. And we don't have to trade every day. And I want to tell you, as I'm coaching members and answering their questions, I have to say that there are 3 of the top things that traders do that spoil the career of trading. Number 1 is that they're just too nervous and scared to get into a trade, and really don't know their platform in order to put, as an example, a 10-cent trail stop on, so that if $10, if you were to buy one contract and your trail stop was hit with a $10 loss, that you could exit that trade. If you could do that with confidence, each and every trade you got into, then that would be off of the list of why traders, freak out or have analysis paralysis. It's just a nerves thing. It's a confidence thing. And that's why we're here, is to help you to gain confidence in your trading so that you can extend the life of your education while you are learning this new profession. So that's number 1. Number 2, I did have to say that number 2 would be over trading. So we make money on a swing right off the bat. You get the text from me, get out of the trade. We made 60, 70%. You're feeling good. You got the endorphins going. What are you doing? All of a sudden now you're looking for a day trade. And regardless of what you've been told, day trading with options is probably one of the, I'd say, hardest ways to gain a consistent income each and every month. If you're looking for consistent income, you need to go to a longer time period, and hence the swings, even if they're overnight. And so if you didn't already know that, then I would like you to read some books, go to Google, do some searches, and find out the truth. Okay? So if you made money on your overnight swing, and then the first thing you want to do is do a day trade, great. Have your stop in place and do it. But, have a limit. Like mine is 3 bad trades in a day and I'm done. And then I'm either simulating or I am busy doing other things. Because if you continue, then you revenge trade, then you lose. What do you lose? You lose all the profit that you gained yesterday on a decent trade. Why? Because you're just not, you're not using your indicators. You're not paying attention to what the market's telling you, and you're not walking away. So that's number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is a lot of traders don't recognize that trading is not meant to trade every day. So just like you overtrade in one day, people will trade each and every day because they feel like that, an opportunity is there. Just because you have a computer and the candles are moving doesn't mean that there's an opportunity. And so I think if you're one of those, right, hopefully you're in one of these 3 camps and is just getting my perspective as a trainer on what I see, then please try to take the opposite side of the coin for a week. For 1 week, try to break your cycle of habit and check your ROI and see if it's any better. Because what ends up happening is that if you trade each and every day, now I kind of have to, at least for the swing trades, right? I kind of have to because I'm taking these trades. So if I'm taking the trades, I got skin in the game, I'm watching the chart, I'm telling you when to get out, giving you my recommendations on, when to trim, or if we're holding, or what the stop loss is, then I need to be focused and be in that game. But for day trading, I don't day trade every day. And so if you're day trading, I don't want you to trade every day. I want you to identify that if I'm a 5-minute candle type of person, then I'm not going to trade today. You need to be able to understand that. And by the way, can you set an alarm to say, hey, let me know when this changes on a 5-minute? Absolutely. This is our label is actually programmed with the, the ADX, which is a trending indicator, right? I often tell you that, all of what we do here, not secret sauce. This is options 101 and knowing your platform and tools. So if you can set an alarm, right? Set an alert, right click on your chart and on a 5-minute chart, and then say, let's see if we can do that, by the way. I don't know if I can do it on a 5-minute. Let's see. Set an alert, and then we're going to change our screen to go to study. Let me make sure that I have that on all my screens. I hope that's the screen there. Let me just do that. Zoom as well. So if I'm here under, hey, send me an alert if price is at or above or below or whatever, what you do is you go right over here to mark where it says price, and you bring that down to study. as I'm looking at all the things here. And I have a toolbar that's in my way. Hold on. So if I go to study, I'm going to go to edit. And then let me just make sure you guys can see that screen really quick. It's different screens. And let me make sure I do that. Okay, so now we're on this special screen. So yes, you can set it. So you, Toss is like, there's too much stuff going on. What are you doing? So right here, if you bring this down to a 5-minute chart, all right, don't do the extended hours. And then say, add a condition. And what's your condition? It's going to be a study, because that's what Toss calls all that. And you're going to put, oh, look, ADX is the first one, guys. That should be an easy reminder for you. ADX, and you can Google that and read all about it. It's basically just a trending indicator. And you're going to say ADX, the 14, is greater than 25. Let's see. Oh, we have to do the study again on this side. ADX. We're becoming programmers here, guys. ADX, and then we're going to say ADX. Is it the offset? It's not the offset. ADX. There should be another one here within one bar. Looks like I need to do some research. So it's ADX crossing the ADX? No, it's ADX true or false is greater than 25. Is that there? No, let's see. What is that? Oh, it's as a value. Hold on, guys. It's been a while. The offset. I think that's wrong, actually. I don't think that's right. I'm going to actually have to research this. Ooh, I got stumped. I like it. All right. Looks like I got some homework. That's good. Set ADX. There's a value. It's greater than. I think it might be this offset right here. I don't know why it's called offset, though. I don't remember that being offset, but it's been a while. And I know it's not 14. So let's put greater than 25 and save it. And that's going to be for SPY. Oh, and it just kind of threw me right out of there, didn't it? Let's get back in. I don't know if it did for Discord. Let me just check. Just loving the technology today. All right, I'm back. All right. So that's how you would create that with a study. And now I think it's pretty much done. You just want to make sure that your text, your phone, your SMS, it's all in there and programmed. You say create. And then now you have a study. And I think it looked like it did it from that, which is not correct. It should not be a price up here. So anyway, I don't want to go back to it, but you know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to research this tonight, and I'm going to do a video on it to make sure, and that'll be for public consumption. But in any event, all of these indicators basically, you know, is just something out of TOS that we did for programming. And so this non-trending label is ADX over 25, believe it or not. And so you can set an alert, and I'm going to figure that out and show you how to do that so that you too could basically just be texted, right? Let's say you come in and you're like, okay, my swings are done. I'm looking at the market. I'm not really sure what to do here. You look at your label, it says non-trending. If you waited past that 90 minutes and you got past that time period, could you then not say, you know what, I'm going to set an alert for it to text me when a 5-minute chart is trending? And then you could be notified. And then if you were in a position, as an example, if you were just around the house or you work from the house, you're doing something where you were near your computer, you could then get to a computer and then, do some business possibly, because this is a business. That would be considered an opportunity, not just because, right, the computer's on and the candles are moving, because this is, this will just take all your money. Speaking of which, I'm going to close this trade out here. Well, we'll see how this goes. We'll just leave it. I said in the end of day, Meta's in profit. We'll just see. So let's see if we have any questions right now while I've been. Hey, Bob. Gosh, Bob, I'm so glad that you're in Discord or in YouTube watching. I want you to come over to Discord. That's funny. Yes, over trading. It's one of those 3 categories. That's funny. Well, if any of you guys on YouTube have a question, just go ahead and type it. We have Bob Anderson listening in, which is awesome. And love his videos. I hope everything is going better. I know you've had a couple rough weeks here. And let's go over to our Discord and see if anything's going on there. Any questions? Oh, 60%, 0 DTE on SPX. Oh, I love those 0 DTE SPX when they're working, right? Need to perfect these setups. Algob, let's do it. We have a couple people right now doing some back testing on some different types of trades, 0 DTEs. We got an iron fly going on. We got the credit spread. We got, I think, an iron condor that we're doing. Who is that? Tango Web. So, what we should do is like create a group and then create a kind of a study group for this 0 DTEs and get on top of it. How do you have the VIX at the top of your chart? So the VIX, just like any one of ThinkorSwim's indicators, are really programmable to create as a label. And so I will send that over to you today as soon as we're out of here. I'll get that over to you. And so what's nice to have is the RSI as well as the VIX. And what that enables you to do is just have more chart real estate, right? To be able to see all the other stuff on your screen. So if you don't already know, let me get over here. If you don't already know, in our Discord, if you go over to the indicator, TOS indicators channel, start scrolling up and you should probably see those labels. They should be identified in there. If not, just DM me and I'll send this one over to you, no problem. So what do we have going on now for SPY? It's very difficult to stay on task for an hour when I don't have a co-host. I really don't like it. So let's see, we're on a 1-minute chart and look at our mood indicator, like, what a day. But look at this, we got an up squeeze. By the way, if you didn't know, our wave indicator does have a squeeze indicator. And if you guys are not familiar with the TTM squeeze from John Carter, we basically just program that into our wave. Again, just saving the real estate on our chart so we don't have to click, 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 click. Each and every time you go back and forth, then you get mixed up and you start to recreate your analysis paralysis for why you were looking at different indicators in the first place. So hopefully there's enough labels on your chart to help you identify that, this is positive trending. I think I'm going to take that 10% off of Meta now. And again, that wasn't anything we did together. This was just something I had today that I just want to make sure that I close. So let's see here. What else can we identify? I don't know if any of you guys are watching Paulo's charts in our Discord, but he often talks about the VIX, and the VIX isn't a good indicator to identify, positive or negative trending day. And so, he was really trying to say, as we're kind of staying in this 20 area, this is really kind of positive for us. Let's take a look at the VIX chart as a matter of fact. Let's see what it looks like, where the support and resistance is. And, is it due here for a bounce? And as you can see, and why wouldn't the VIX be due for a bounce, right? Everything else bounces. Why wouldn't the VIX bounce? It's considered a chart. Just like all the other tickers that we look at. And so you can look at that instead of just a label, you can start looking at that as a chart and identify that we came down and did a gap fill and go, right? Not a gap and crap, which is gap fill and then turn around and go up. But this is actually a gap fill and then kept going. And so once you end up doing that, it had some good continuation here. I don't find it to be like a real good instrument to trade personally, but I just use it as an indicator of, what's happening. So as you can see, if we just look at the regular indicators, and I would want you to look at the indicators by the way that you like, right? If you don't have these indicators, that's okay. It's no problem. Look at the indicators that you like on your chart, and then look at VIX. And you can see that on a 5-minute chart, VIX is coming up to a vertical trend line here. And it is a pivot trend line. And we have another one here. So it's kind of in this range. And we're at the bottom of the range. We're making a low for today. Right here, it tells you it's making a low. So, I figured that 2065, maybe 10 more cents, we might do a bounce. And it'd be interesting to see, and could we put an alarm? Can we put in an alarm right there at that pivot low to see if it breaks that pivot low at or above, create. Now it will text me when the VIX breaks this level right here. And what is that? That's just the last pivot low. So if it hits the last pivot low and starts to break above, well, then okay, then let's start looking at now all of a sudden the fear gauge is rising. And what happens when the fear gauge rises? Well, the market then starts to fall. So there are a couple different ways that you could use your indicators to help just confirm what you might be seeing on a chart, but just need extra confirmation. Any questions on the VIX or how you could utilize that for your trading? Let's see if I got any questions here. You guys are being so kind to stay here without Jay. Jay, are you even still in the group? He's probably gone home. Gosh, dang it. How do you have that? Okay, and then thank you. I'd like to have that. All right, no problem. Hybrid trading cowboy. I have the VIX on another chart. Yes, we all do or did until today, I bet. Would you like to get rid of? Yes, no doubt. Usually major buying accesses at or under VIX. 20, you're absolutely right. So 20 is kind of that gauge that all traders know about, guys. So if this is your first time hearing this, VIX at anything, VIX under 20 typically means, it's a good trending bullish market, and selling 25 or higher. I would say anything over 25, then you start to get on shaky ground. Yes, you're absolutely right. That's what they say. 25 is pretty high, by the way. So anything over 20, you should start to be on guard. I see you, Jay. Thank you for still being here. My safety blanket. You know what I should do is get good enough at my controls on Discord where I just unmute somebody, and then it's kind of like Russian roulette where someone gets to be my guest and have to talk to me while I'm doing a presentation. Wouldn't that be fun? I'd love to see where you guys are from. So, so now that we have kind of the VIX taken care of because the candles are doing absolutely nothing right now, let's take a look at a longer term chart and see where we're at. I often, for swings, I often like to look at an hourly chart and a 15-minute chart. And so as I look at an hourly, you can see that, remember, these were the lines that we created with that 15-minute candle. So that 15-minute candle, the first candle of the day on SPY, and you can see where we're at. So, not a ton of movement here. And it seems like each and every day where we're kind of at an inflection point. They almost do that on purpose, right? So if you do take any, by the way, we sent out 3 swings today. Please remember, we're sending those swings out as trade ideas. You don't have to take all of them. I took all of them, but you don't have to take all of them. And if you have a small portfolio, you're watching your capital wisely, you need to pick and choose and start to identify that. So knowing that our profit, trader gave those out, I took them all, and we'll see how that goes. So we're looking at basically the SPY, and it's, it's up for the day. It just really is just kind of a grinding motion. So tomorrow, what I want you to do is, by the way, if you don't have the wave, you can look at your CCI, which is a toss indicator, and you can identify your 0 line there and then utilize that oscillator in the same way. It just won't be as colorful with all the bells and whistles, but basically does the same thing on a DIY level. And so you basically want to see if price is staying below 0 or if price is staying above 0. And look at all these changes in an hour. Wow. This is, each and every day is different. This day was red. This day is green. This day is red. This day is green. And on an hour on SPY, this day is red. Interesting. Gosh, I hope that's not just a scientific strategy that I just created. That would be hilarious to see tomorrow. But in all honesty, we have right here on a 15-minute chart, we have a vertical trend line from our best trend line indicator. And, it's kind of right in groove there. Let's take a look at an hourly. And here is a trend line that's here. We have a pivot high here that we're staying above. Technically speaking, this is bullish. And we have basically our mood indicator that's showing that the internals look 85% positive as of right now. And, we're up $2 today. So that could be a good indication. If you want to trade on an hourly chart, then you better be able to handle an entire hour candle, right? Because your stop loss is going to be the one below it. All right, let me see. Let's take a look at some hot tickers. Tesla, what's going on with Tesla? Boy, kind of really, boy. One of my favorites, just a lot of bad press. Oh, so we actually have been shopping around this area for a while. I would expect a pretty big move here relatively soon. So basically we have these 2 levels here, not a surprise. Now on an hourly, it says 108 to 124, which is quite large for a range that you could trade in if you were in a spread. It'd be easier to handle a vertical spread if you were wanting to trade that range. And if not, and you don't know what a spread is, go to my channel, vertical spreads, credit spreads. And then also you have a pivot high here of 123.52. And we really need to actually break that to go any higher. And then we have resistance right over here at 128.38. Now we do have this gap that we filled halfway. And so typically speaking, when a gap has been filled halfway, that's not too bad. It doesn't mean that the whole gap needs to be filled right now, but typically halfway constitutes, that's pretty much a gap fill. And so what happens when a gap has been either halfway or fully filled? It typically reverses and goes the opposite direction. That is what we can see here. But as we're coming towards the end of the day, of course, it's always a surprise. You still have this now, the gap resistance. It actually looks like it passed it. So it broke up above that gap resistance right there, which again is positive. So will it make its way back up to the 123.52 before turning over? And you can see let me put this on an hourly chart. So, that 114.82 and that 124.24 looks like that's that area that is just ranging in right now. So a break of one of those on an hourly chart would definitely give you a longer perspective of where it's going. On a 15-minute, you can see that the range is much tighter. It's been consolidating for a really long time today, literally since 10:30. It's just been consolidating in this area. And typically speaking, when it's consolidating, you're waiting for the break of this candle right here. And it looks like it broke it. It's above it. So, and you can see that our bullseye is saying 117.58 is a call, identifying it as a call. And then 116.58 would be your stop loss with some targets. That doesn't mean that it's going to hit all three targets. I usually utilize the targets as where the next level is. If it starts to reverse, then you know that if it reverses back to that previous target, then it's going down. So at least if you're programming your orders, it can give you some identification numbers to use while you program stock price for your options. But even on a 15-minute, this isn't trending. On a 1 hour, it's not trending. And on a daily, it is trending. And what is it trending? It's trending lower. And you can see that we have a vertical, we have actually a vertical trend line right here that's been broken. If you didn't know, all indicators are lagging, except for trend lines. Trend lines is price action, real time. And what does that mean? Well, that means that as soon as price crosses above or below a trend line, that is real-time price action speaking to you about where price is going. And so just something to take in consideration of why I often say I'm a trend line trader. Actually, that's just price action. You can do this on a 30-second chart while you're scalping, as well as a 1-minute chart, is to have trend lines and then draw trend lines to see where your next level is. You'll notice on a 1-minute, even this best trend line, these are all created from software, not me. Those are in our videos, public, free, that you can get your hands on those indicators to help you if it's a little too difficult for you to do that while you're trading. And so I think that, one of the toughest things a new trader experiences is getting into a trade and out of a trade with profit. And I think that's what we try to do here, is to help you assimilate to, an environment where, you're learning option education and identifying what you are attracted to, because there's so many different indicators and so many different strategies. And all you really need is one or two to help you make a decision in your trading. And doing that systematically, automatically, right? Just keep on going. Today, I listed our spreadsheet, the portfolio that I keep for our trading group. I listed it, And I said that to another trader, because what ends up happening is you make 3 trades, let's just say, and you lose all 3. And if you lose all 3, what are you going to say? This system doesn't work. This trend line doesn't work. The options education I'm learning doesn't work. And that's actually not true. And in order for you to really identify your progress, you actually need to track your trades, every single one of your trades. And when you do that, then you'll be able to see that, hey, I've had, 3 losses in a row and then 3 winners in a row. And over a period of time, you can see $1,000 going to $5,500 in a matter of months using one contract. And that's our group. So, and that's without the expert traders, by the way. We just got the expert traders December 1st. So, that Excel sheet is our group, just us trading without any experts giving us any tickers. We were just taking actually our watch list and utilizing those for trades. We have tradie ticks, algo flow. We were using that. You could use a number, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a number of areas that you can get information. They're not, it's not exclusive to, you need the right ticker. That it really is not the truth. You just need to get some information, look at a chart, make a decision, and then go for it. And if you don't do it in a consistent manner each and every day, then you really don't have an edge. You're just really kind of, everything is happenstance. And so please, if you get into a losing streak, trust me, go to our Excel spreadsheet, look at our trades. Sometimes that happens. And then you can see how that reverses. And if we didn't just stick to what we do each and every day, then our account would not have grown from 1,000 to 5,500 in 6 months. And that's with one contract, right? Those are just swing trades. So hopefully that just gives you an idea of kind of the mental preparedness that, as well as the tools mentally, psychologically, that you can use to help you keep the course and identify when this is a non-trending time period for you to get into a trade. I'd rather see you take swings than day trades. It's just in this type of market, definitely worthwhile. Now, for whatever reason, if you get into the market one day and all of a sudden SPX or SPY is breaking its support or resistance levels, then I want you to jump on board, and that's the capital day. When you put on a 10 or 15 cent trail stop on one or your 2 positions and it never gets hit, that should be a light bulb. Oh gosh, I need to increase my contracts or I need to get into more positions, because that is your capital day. And those are few and far between. Who was it? Some very popular investor said that the market only trends 15% of the time. Just think about that for a moment. Only 15% of the time. If it's only trending 15% of the time, how else are you trading? If you're just doing day trades, because you need a trending market to day trade or scalp. And it's only trending 15% of the time. So if you feel like you're scalping and day trading more than 15% of the time, you may want to think about that, especially if your ROI is not very good. All right. Because, that's something to take a look at. So I hope I'm sorry that there was no movement in the market for us to take a trade. I just got out of a trade, recognizing what's done is done. And then, hopefully, you picked up a couple nuggets here, and hopefully we see you again. A lot of free education in our Discord, as well as tools, watch lists, and hopefully it helps you in your trading. We'll see you soon. I'm going to go quickly to see if there are any questions really quick before I say goodbye. I see somebody typing, so then I'll just go check over at here. Hey guys, sorry, so loud. Many questions. Let's see. I tried using the Whirlpool app and RSI doesn't change. I don't know why. Stays showing the same numbers, 14. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so 14 is typically used for programming, and so that is actually the number of bars that it's calculating. I'm wondering if you can give Wellbull a call for them to kind of guide you with their platform and their tools. Because, to be honest with you, all these people, they want your business. And, you know, you may want to, as a matter of fact, I don't know if it's feasible for you, Jilly. If you end up, that's really the name she's got, Philly Jilly. If you really do want to utilize some of their tools, you can sign up with another account. And then, thanks, you can sign up as an example, just sign up for ThinkorSwim, get all the free scripts that I've given you, and then use that while you're using, right, some other platform to make your trades. As an example, if for whatever reason you like Tastyworks because they're cheaper contracts or whatever. So you could get a free account over at ThinkorSwim. And that's what I often say to people that are coming over to us and really want our indicators is, hey, you can use ThinkorSwim's indicators. And if you are working full-time as an example and you program your trades, you could program those trades in any platform, but at least you have the charts and you have the indicators if those are helping you, right? So you just need those that help you. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We should probably do this more often so there's a set schedule. But we do usually have a power hour on Tuesdays in our Discord. Sometimes I forget to go live, but trying to get better at going live on YouTube. And I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you have any questions, you know how to just DM me or come into our Discord. It's for free. And a ton of watch lists and information, including trading ticks. That's for free. Hey, I'm new here. I want to learn more about trading. I've started learning. The strat trading, yes. Awesome. I think it's Thety K. Lots of great resources on the strat. We also carry a line of trading ticks bots that machine driven that identifies the strat setup, so you don't have to memorize those candles, and then you can look at the chart and then identify if that's a good setup. You can email me if you want some more information on that. All right, let's go back to Discord really quick. Solo player, you did really well. All right. I didn't see solo player up here. Okay, I didn't see his comment, but I'm glad he's doing well. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow in our Discord. Bye-bye now.